Hi, and welcome to Coffee with Dogs. I'm Susan Ellen Medium. I'm an evidential psychic medium and animal communicator. This podcast is a place to share insights into the spirit world and soulful stories of animals and what they can teach us about a life aligned with love. So grab your mug and let's dive into some magic together. Hi, Maria.
Hi, Susan. It's good to see you.
Good to see you. I know your camera's giving you issues, so we just get to see your beautiful picture, which is just fine.
Yes. So welcome everybody to Coffee with Dogs. And today Susan is going to talk about pet reincarnation stories. Susan?
I love that. It's one of my favorites. Like when I do pet readings, people are like, what do you think about that? And I said, well, have you asked? Did you ask your pet to come back? And they go, oh my God, yes, I've said, please come back, please come back. And it's going to be so subtle. You know, the spirit world works in subtlety. It doesn't work with this huge occurrence in many ways because it would interrupt how sensitive we are. You know, they move very beautifully. The only thing that I could say is they move like a butterfly, and they're as subtle as a butterfly. Mm-hmm. So when you're meant to know, you'll know. But the pet coming back, it doesn't miss you. I had this beautiful couple in England that really wanted their animal to come back, and they booked a second reading relatively quickly because she was frantically worrying about, she thought she missed it. She said, they sent me the litter and I wasn't sure. And I just said, no, whatever is for you is never against you. They can't miss you. Anything that's for us can't miss us. Whether it's an animal, a boyfriend, a marriage, a job, a house, it doesn't miss us, Maria. And that's what I try to teach people is be out of the worry and the fear. Anyway, well, they booked a second reading and there were many signs and symbols in the reading. I can't remember the specifics that we put them at ease that they did not miss their dog yet. And there were special things that the spirit world brought into me that said, this is what's coming. This is what they would look for. So fingers crossed, I told them to email me when the dog came because I really wanted them to feel settled about that. So, you know, everybody take a deep breath. Things that are for you cannot miss you. Mm-hmm. For reincarnation, this is one of my favorite stories. I think I told you, or I think it was in an earlier podcast. This woman was referred to me out of Japan from another medium that just spoke to the dead people. I do both. I speak to dead people and pets. She was so angry because she was still in the grief stages of her dog getting hit by a car. And it was a young dog and it was really an accident. You know, she didn't know that they didn't leash the dog. It was her nieces and nephews. And I thought, I don't usually feel like this. And I just said, you know, this was a very tough reading for me. Because when somebody is, especially in the anger phase of the grief, it's very hard for a sensitive person like me or any sensitive to get through that rage and anger. And she's become a good friend, so I could talk about it. She just was so angry, and I was giving her a lot of evidence of her life with her dog when it was living. And you could just sense all the anger. Yes, but how will I know? How will I know that this is my dog? And it was so startling, you know, the anger. I don't know. I just said there'll be an electrical occurrence. Of course, this is divine coming through me because I've never even used the word electrical occurrence. There'll be an electrical occurrence. It won't be the same colors. And there were a couple other pointers I gave her. So at the time I was in between assistants. I didn't have Chelsea yet. I was kind of losing it because I had to send all these Zooms out myself. And at the time we were charging for Zoom recordings. You know, you're reading, and if you want the Zoom, you got to pay for the Zoom. So she had paid for the Zoom, and finally somebody helped me. I think it was my husband, send her the Zoom recording like 3 weeks later after her reading. And she immediately books because everything I said in the reading had actually happened.
Wow.
So she immediately books the reading with me. And she gets on the phone, and the first 20 minutes is like, we went to a farm. It was in Utah where I got Rio the first time. It was the last litter, the same mother and father would be used to breed. Is this like crazy?
Oh.
She goes, but I was so freaked out because when I get there, there's 9 puppies. And I said out loud, and she got this all on tape. I should get that tape from her. Like, she videoed it.
Oh.
She had her video up at the puppies. And she said, Rio, how will I know it's you? And boom, all the electricity went down on the farm, and the farm had a generator. And the owner of the farm said, this has never happened before. We have a backup generator. Lights never go out. It just immediately kicks in. I mean, this sounds like so wild, right? Spooky, crazy. And she tells me all this, and she sends me the video. Okay. So the lights go down. The video camera is running. The lights come up, and there's just 2 puppies in the front of the cage, neck and neck, one over the other. She didn't know what to do, so she took both. This is what the second reading was about. She takes both home. One was a boy, one was a girl. So she takes both home. She tells me everything I said happened. And the colors of the boy that I said he would be are in the boy. So she said, what do I do? They're very attached. I have the girl and the boy. She knew that because my mother bred schnauzers once. She bred schnauzers when I was little. And my family loved schnauzers. And this dog was a schnauzer. But I didn't ever get another schnauzer. The rest of my siblings, my brother got schnauzer after schnauzer. And they're very special. They're really, really smart. Long story short, and all my stories will be long. I keep saying that. So she knew that I was from a family that liked schnauzers. So she was trying to see if I wanted the female. And I said, well, send me the picture. Can I meet it? I was so confused, right? And I said, I'd like to meet the dog, blah, blah, blah. And I said, if you're in LA, because she's out of Japan, but she's also has a place in LA. If you're in LA, let me meet the dog or bring the dog to my house. Because I just didn't have that knowing for myself. And when I don't have the knowing, I'm like all of us, well, let me test it out, because it wasn't that extreme. I had to have this dog. So the third time I spoke to her, she was saying, I think I want to give this dog to my mom. And I knew right away. I go, your mother does not want this puppy. You need to keep the puppy. You're going to keep both dogs. So she ended up keeping both of these dogs. And needless to say, over this, we became really close friends. And that was one of the best reincarnation stories that I've ever experienced, ever. Now, my own reincarnation story, people will say to me, there's an essence of my dog in this dog. And that is absolutely potentiality. Because my pug has several things that my Frenchie Rosie had. One in which is a favorite treat where she loses her mind over this one treat. And it's not a typical treat, but it's a treat my dog loves. And I often think that Rosie sent her to me because Rosie, my friend, she had such a alpha female personality. She didn't let me hug and kiss her. If I grabbed her to hug her, and this was like a soul pet. This was my soul pet. Um, she would fight me like crazy. She would just fight me to get away from me. She didn't want to be hugged. She didn't want to be kissed. And this one is a total lap dog that is so dramatic when I hug her and kiss her. If I put her head on my chest, she pushes her head even further into my chest. And I often laugh and know there's a knowing that Rosie sent her, but that put an essence in her to love this one treat so, so much.
Oh.
So reincarnation is real. Reincarnation, for me, especially if a dog passed suddenly or in a tragedy, or we can definitely ask, especially, and it's like, I want to remind you, if you miss the first 49 days from the time that they passed, please don't worry about it. Like, I don't want you to think you missed the timeline. But in the first 49 days that the animal is in the in-between worlds, I would ask a lot of that soul, like what you want to have in your life, what you want them to bring to spirit to help you manifest. I've often talked about this before. I never asked Rosie to come back to me because I saw how powerful she was for me and my clients in spirit. So I never implored her to come back. I feel like they have, just like our deceased loved ones, there is so much more power in heaven than there is here for them to make change. I feel that way about when people die suddenly, tragically, or a young person can't handle the frequencies that we're in and they take their own life, or a young child or young person transfers to spirit. I really do have a knowing that it's because their mission is in heaven, that their job is to watch over us and be with the spirit world, and it's their time to transfer into spirit. That being said, if you want your pet back, even if you miss the first 49-day window, talk to your pet just like you talk to your deceased loved ones. Keep the dialogue open. This is a very, very important time. So we want to keep the dialogue open. And I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, keeping that dialogue open. Now, are you saying it's almost like they're in a waiting window where the frequencies are so sensitive that you can communicate and say, "Hey, do you want to come back to me?" And it's almost like a second soul agreement that you would make, right, for reincarnation between you, the both of you.
Exactly. Exactly. Very well put, Maria. Thank you. And it's not just the first 49 days, but that's when you're going to experience the most hits. Like,
Right.
people will say, I know I saw my dog out of the corner of my eye. I know I heard his little nails, or their cat meowing, or their cat hearing taps or meows in the room. That you're not losing your minds, and it is really real. So experience that and take it in. It's phenomenal. It's the phenomenon of the spirit world. Like, I've seen deceased cats that have, not my cats, in friends' homes that were gone many, many, many years. And I think they just come back to say, hey, let them know I'm really okay. So it's not just the first 49 days, because just like our loved ones in spirit, like, a week ago, I was meditating and I saw my grandfather in my third eye. And by no mistake, I remember talking to my brother that night and saying, my grandfather died when I was 10. decades ago, decades and decades.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I remember calling my brother, and who my brother was very close to my grandparents, and saying, "You're not going to believe this. Grandpa was in my meditation." I hardly ever think of him,
Uh-huh.
but I mean, I do think of him, but I hardly, in a way, because there's so many more people that have transferred to spirit since I'm 10. So I don't think
Yes.
of him as much, but he was there. And my brother said, who is a believer,
Mm-hmm.
but he's also a psychologist. So he's into the science based of psychiatry, psychology.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, that's unbelievable because I've been thinking about him a lot this whole week. So I think that was a validation more for my brother
Mm-hmm.
than for me, if that makes sense.
That makes so much sense. So what happens after the 49 days? I'm curious, and I'm sure the listeners are too. Now, is that when they transition into the heavenly realms per se, and then it's just like, I
The
don't know, is it
frequency will change. The
okay,
frequency
okay.
that they're experiencing, they go
Hmm.
higher.
Ah.
And that's when they start mapping out what they're going to do in the afterlife.
Mm.
Are they going to teach? Are they going to learn? Are they going to finish college? Years ago, I have this really cool story.
Hmm.
Sitting in meditation, and the assistant of a very well known medium that I used to work with, I texted her, her boy came through, her boy who had, I knew nothing about him. I didn't know anything about her, but he knew I knew her. He knew I had her phone number.
Wow.
And he dropped in to my meditation and he said, tell my mother I finished college. And I was like, oh, okay. So I remember going through the medium's sister because I didn't want to bring up the death of her child in any way or stir her up or hurt
Yeah.
her feeling. I
Ah,
was so not wanting to injure anybody, or
of
stir
course.
things up in that time of being a medium. And the girl just went and told her right away. And she immediately texted me and she goes, he was moving back home when he knew he was sick. And he
Ah,
said he just wanted to finish school. He didn't end up being able to move home and finish school. So, what a prolific message, right?
wow.
Yeah,
But I'm sure that really put everything at ease for the mother
it did.
with,
And here I am. They don't lie and they don't
yes.
give me things that won't help the person.
Mm-hmm.
And I was editing, trying to make sure I wouldn't hurt anybody.
Right. Yeah, because it seems a little fragile sometimes with some deaths for some
Especially a
people.
child.
Absolutely.
There are people that have come to me with pet loss, and my God, do I understand that?
Mm-hmm.
People that have, especially people that are childless, their
Mm.
pet loss on many levels is worse than losing a parent or a child.
Correct.
I could feel the energy in the room of pet loss parents, and they're just, you know, there's a lot of grief. We'll just leave it at that. There's a ton of grief. We want to push
Yeah.
through the grief, get rid of it, not push it away, push through it. Can't
Mm-hmm.
get around it. It's through it. We
It's a
can't get around
process.
it.
Yeah.
Yes. It's
Yeah.
a process. It's the highs, the lows, and all of a sudden you'll have a memory and you'll be hysterical in a supermarket. We just don't know. But I also think, you know, I don't know if you've experienced this, but in those moments of despair or in those moments of having extreme grief and heartache and crying, it's like a cleansing. It's another layer of growth. Does that make
Yes.
sense?
It does. It's like when the rain just comes and washes
Yes.
it all away. And would you agree, Susan, that when you're not in this grief frequency or loss or, all these low vibrational things, that it's easier for you, for a person to be able to get the messages from the pets and the loved ones, right? When you are on a high frequency.
Exactly. And then this is another huge discovery. People will say to
Okay.
me, I love this because I've experienced this. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to tell you my human experience of this. And you could figure this out on your own or like do whatever you think you need to do and think about this.
Mm-hmm.
But I had one dream of my soul pet within 3 months of her death. And it was pretty evidential and it was wonderful. I never dreamt of her again until I had my own, unbeknownst to me, my wonderful, beautiful, soulful friend Kiki did a sound bath, and she's a healer for sure. And
Mm-hmm.
I just went for fun and I laid down and I had some kind of experience, right? Because
Wow.
even a medium and a spiritualist can have their own experience because we're still human and we have our own losses, right?
I
So
agree.
I go, exactly. So I go home that night and I dreamt of Rosie.
Ah,
And
Rosie.
it was pretty sensational dream.
Mm.
And it was very evidential. She loved the beach. I could never get her away from the beach. And she would sit on a bench with me and just stare at the ocean. It was like she was on a next level of, you know, communication with the sea creatures.
Oh my goodness.
And I couldn't get her to leave the ocean. And she'd make me carry her like a half mile. And she was like 23 pounds. So it wasn't easy. And I didn't want to drag her. So I'd carry her and put her down. It was really hard to get her away from the ocean. And I had a dream and it was pretty evidential. And she was a force of nature and alpha and pretty hard to control, except the last day of her life, where I was able to hug her, squeeze her, and take this huge inhale of her delicious fragrance. That dog never smelled. I swear she was a creature from heaven. And she was just, she had no energy. So she let me just put her in my lap and smell this beautiful smell. And I'm at a beach coffee shop and I'm going up the stairs in
Mm.
a beach coffee shop. Isn't it interesting? Coffee with dogs and
Dogs.
Rosie.
Yes.
And I have her under my arm and I'm thinking, God, she's heavy. And I'm climbing up this flight of stairs. And I order a cup of coffee and I come down the stairs with her with a cup of coffee and holding her. This is my dream.
Oh my goodness.
I get to the bottom of the stairs and there's a ton of people in line for coffee and everyone has a dog.
What?
And I thought, this is what I was worried about. She's going to lose it with all these dogs because she didn't like other dogs.
Mm-hmm.
She liked one dog, Rocky, and that was it. And she'd lose her mind when he came to visit us. And I'm holding a cup of coffee and I got her. That was the end of the dream.
Oh,
Well, I have to tell you this, that after that dream, it was so evidential that the missing of her came back full force.
mm-hmm.
So I do believe now, because I learn as I go. I've learned through thousands of pet readings, thousands of mediumship readings, so much from the spirit world. That is my training. That has been my PhD in mediumship,
Absolutely.
right?
Yes.
The more you do, the
Yes.
more you get better and better and better.
Yes.
And I have to tell you that I then realized why I never had a dream about her because it was painful.
Yeah.
It hurt. It hurt just like when I lost her.
I think that she knows that. I think
And that's
Rosie
why
knows that.
I haven't had a dream about her. So I lost her in 2019.
Mm.
It's 2026.
Mm-hmm.
She took 7 years and that all the
Wow.
feelings of her and her life with us
Yes.
flooded me for a week after that dream. It was so evidential. So, my people, my beloveds out there, when you don't dream of your
Yeah.
pet, and you feel sad that you haven't dreamt of them, it might be too much for you at that time. So you will dream of them. You will. And most of the readings, when the animals come through, they have said to me, I will be the first one waiting for her soul to come over. So you will always see them, even if they've reincarnated, because there's a whole thing that I teach and learn through this. And it is, we are multidimensional. We're living everything in the same time frame in different places. Our souls are not just limited. A soul is a soul. We are not limited. We are living our best lives in many other planets and galaxies at the same time. It's just a lot for people to wrap their head around, you know?
It is, but it's really true. We're here, we're there, we're everywhere, and so are our pets. And
1,000%.
you know, I remember one time you told me to read you just really quickly, and Rosie came in. Because she showed me roses. Yeah. And you were like, oh my gosh, Maria, you're talking about Rosie. Yeah. So I understand. I know sometimes it's preparation for people because they want you to be prepared on that frequency, right? It could be too much to handle sometimes, especially when you're always grieving, for them. You know, they'll come at the right time when they need to.
Let the game come to you. I love that. Because anything that's for you can't miss you.
Oh, absolutely. What's yours is yours.
That's right. Love you.
Love you, Susan. Thank you. And where can everyone reach you, sweetie?
Oh, I love at Susan Ellen Medium, my podcast, my Instagram, and rate and review this podcast. It would mean the world. And whatever comments you make, put them on the rating or put them on Instagram, because I will answer you. I read every single comment and every single review.
Thank you, Susan. That was beautiful today.
Thank you, love. Thanks for joining me for another episode with Coffee with Dogs. I'm your host, Susan Ellen Medium, and I would love for you to write and review the podcast wherever you listen. This helps everyone find me. Thank you so much for spending time with me today. From my soul to yours, and from our animals to us all. Until we meet again.